To remain updated with the latest business news, click on the bell icon.
Hello and welcome to this very special roundtable discussion with Business Today and NASCOM. And today we're thrilled to be talking about the E word. Yes, electric mobility it is, which is going to transform auto industry like never before. And this is a big disruption. But first, let me welcome my panelists. We have Mr. Kishore Patil, who's co-founder, MD, and CEO of KPIT. So welcome.
Thank you.
Your company is going to be all the more important when vehicles become more autonomous, connected, right? So I think exciting times for all of us to see.
Absolutely. Very excited about the future, both in India and outside India, of course.
Right. We also have Mr. Sameer Yagnik, who's ED at Electra EV. And I think a lot of us already know that his company provides electric powertrain to more than 25% of electric cars on Indian roads. Is that correct?
As of 2020, that's very true, Prerna, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Same here. Welcome. We also have Mr. K.S. Vishwanathan, who's the Vice President, Industry Initiatives at NASCOM. Sir, welcome.
Good afternoon, all of you, and it's a pleasure to be interacting with Perna and continued interaction with Samir and Kishore, who are doing the magic for electric vehicle in the market in India and abroad.
Same here. Today, we're going to be talking about the challenges of EV adoption, how strategies are being adopted in terms of engineering, R&D, and is India realistically on its way to achieve its clean mobility targets? So let me start with that. Sameer, tell me, that's exactly my question. Is India realistically on its target, and what is your expectation going forward?
Well, it's $1 million question, but I will attempt to summarize it in a couple of minutes to say what my perspective is. Look, first and foremost, there's the push and the pull that makes any market move in any direction. The great thing that the government has done many, many years back is to come out with FAME 1 and then followed by FAME 2. So people have woken up to the fact that, oh, electrification is something that seriously should be considered and, we need to eradicate pollution, etc. So they woke up many, many years back. But as we come out of the second wave of the pandemic, we find that suddenly there's a huge pull from the market. Whatever few vehicles that were launched, and I'm speaking specifically of the four-wheel industry, there was a very low demand even prior to the pandemic situation. We were kind of experimenting, we were learning as we went along and all that. But suddenly, I think the pandemic has somehow woken people up to the fact that, look, we need a pollution-free environment. As it is, we are suffering from all kinds of diseases, let alone this virus. We should move in that direction. So suddenly, Prerna, the demand is huge. So there is a push and there's a pull. So demand is humongous on one side. And yet everybody knows about the whole story on electronics. I don't need to repeat, but we are all facing huge challenges of supply of electronic components. And then there is this big debate around whether the battery prices will come down, and we are hardly Atmanirbhar. So many factors have to come together if you're going to meet that even 30% objective. But from a demand point of view, I don't think there is any problem either in the passenger segment or in the fleet segment or in the commercial fleet segment. When I say commercial, I mean either it could be passenger fleet or commercial fleet, or in fact the three-wheeler or two-wheeler. The demand is humongous. So I think a few things need to come together, and over the course of this discussion, we'll speak about the convergence of different technologies, what government can do more, etc. But I don't want to just hog up the time, so I'm going to stop here.
Right. Let me bring in Mr. Vishwanathan here. The industry is going to turn it's a very hardware based industry today. It's going to turn into a more software based industry. So what are the kind of upgrades? What are the kind of connected electric autonomous vehicles is going to be the thing? So what kind of shift does the industry require when it comes to R&D, engineering, as well as manufacturing?
Fantastic question, Prerna. Even answering the earlier question that you asked, Samir, the electric vehicle adoption is also linked to the second question that you asked, convergence of newer technologies coming in. So in the past, perhaps in an automobile space, 15 to 20% of total component used to be software. Currently, it's at 30%. And by 2025 to 2030, it is expected 60% of an automobile will be completely software. The software could be around autonomous, could be including it's a service everywhere, AI, and also the cognitive intelligence put together. With all these things put together, almost every EV automobile major globally and India are catering to this requirement, building capacity to look at, for example, a large automobile component manufacturing company from Germany. They say we are no more a automobile component manufacturing software company here. We are the tech software company for automobile from India. They're repositioning themselves. Yeah, large companies like German's largest automobile manufacturer, who got a fairly large global center in India, have also reclassified, saying that we would like to be the tech car for the future. So the people are now shifting to technology as a basis to drive the car. As is jokingly called, few years back is getting reality. An automobile will be an iPad with four wheels. That's the way it is getting into its software. A, connected, B, autonomous, C, intelligence, few navigation system, and D, infotainment system. All of them are undergoing change completely with 200 millions of code in a car.
Right. Like gadgetification of a car. The next big gadget in our homes is going to be this, right?
Exactly. So yeah, your car plans for you where you need to go for the day. Your time is not in your hand. It tells you preferences of your family member, and car takes route. It captures everyone's imagination, takes you there. Completely different world.
Yeah. Mr. Patil, your company already provides software and services to these automotive companies. What is the demand like right now, and what do you prepare for in the future? What are the trends what will the car of the future look like? Shock us. Use your imagination.
As I said, basically, I do feel that India, all ER&D community, and of course KPIT has a big role to play in this transformation, and what we call as reimagining mobility with you. So all the OEMs everywhere, whether it is premium OEM or it is the large vehicles OEM, or it is you would say a supplier, all of them are trying to find out what will be their role in this whole changing world. And the software, if I had to look at it, there are three ways in which it is changing. What Case mentioned and Samir alluded to also is the software, which is both in electrification, autonomous, connected, etc. That is one part. The second part, I think the big change is in terms of the overall operating system connectivity of the vehicle. That is the second important part. And the third part, which is more outside the car, which actually connects the car, as we talked about the analogy, whether it is like an iPad, right? So it is how it is connected to the external world. So all these three parts are basically software driven. And this is going to be the soul. So basically how it is built, how it operates, and how it monetizes. So I think all these three parts will be significantly driven by software. And that's why, to your point, I think it will be left to imagination, in my opinion, over the period. I am aware of at least some of the people who are trying to see whether it can be like an open innovation platform. So just like you build apps right on iPhone or this Android, whether any feature by an independent player can be actually integrated with a car. I mean, it will take some time because, as I said, the operating system architecture is going to change. But I won't be surprised if that would happen in future. So fundamentally, it is really it is really becoming a software-defined vehicle, as I would say.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.